When I was first born, my parents first tried to teach me how to sign, and my very first phrase was "more cookies, please." And I kept getting one cookie after another, and I love cookies ever since. I remember, somebody would try to say something to me, and I would try to sign something to them, and I would fall down because I couldn't stand and sign at the same time. My name is Hauch, and I work for a nonprofit here in Ottawa and throughout the province to help people with physical disabilities be active in their community. When I first started to learn English and first started speaking, I would talk all the time. My mother would leave me alone, and she would hear me talking incessantly all the time. And finally, I remember one time she said, "Honey, are you hearing certain voices? Is that why you're talking?" And I said, "No, no," and I just kept talking. And then I would never stop talking, keep talking. And one time, when we were in the audiology department of the Children's Hospital, I kept talking. And my mom said, "Honey, please just stop talking." And this horrified hush fell through the room, and they said, "Never, ever tell the child not to talk." And she said, "You don't know what it's like to live with him. He never stops talking." I had a lot of shame when I was younger about having a disability, and so I had made the mistake when I was younger of thinking that I'll just be involved in my community, I'll just do all these different things, I will get in various levels of education, and then my disability will miraculously dissolve, and then I will be able to participate as a full, able-bodied member of society. Then I realized that, my rights as a citizen should not be contingent upon whether I have a disability or not, that they should just simply be there, and that it was high time I got beyond shame and felt a sense of real innate personhood. Disability is often seen as very tragic, and people are often seen to need help and only help, and not to be active for themselves and with other people.
So we want to start off with our first presenter, Nathan Hauch.
So by way of context, when we talk about the different models that we are investigating and we sort of placed into different catchments, we have the sort of broader medical model, which is focused primarily on curing disability or adapting individuals to external environments, that is, not engaging in the social construction of environments which may be by virtue of inaccessible design. One must adapt to the external environment rather than looking at how we construct an environment, which would include not only accessibility but the more universal design, so it is as broadly inclusive as possible.
I was largely apathetic at a certain point, like a lot of people were. I didn't see the immediacy of politics by any means. I came to my own sort of political awareness in large part when the Common Sense Revolution happened in Ontario, and I started seeing the gutting of a wide range of public services. And I had some friends that, when they were talking about removing some of the services for students with disabilities in my high school, were wondering if they were going to graduate or not. And when I saw certain services no longer be available, and it made it very real to me, I think that's a large part of when I started to get involved. There's this seemingly smaller issue of elevators that don't work, that make a difference in our lives. Some people would say this issue has been this way for so many years, don't even bother. And I had this sense of drive, and I said, well, I think we can still start somewhere. I remember when we finally had a breakthrough, and I received a call from my manager, and he said, "We've just received an announcement of $5 million for something called the Self-Administered Direct Funding Program, where the province gives funds to people who are eligible to hire and train their own attendants." And that this money had come forward. It was one of the biggest breakthroughs we'd ever had. And I said that that's probably one of the first few times I've ever really cried in public because I was just so happy. Things that are often worth having require a lot of work and perseverance. It can sometimes feel a bit tedious, particularly if change is not happening immediately, and that's why the small victories are so important to get us to the bigger piece that makes everything worthwhile.